truth is here for you. It helps you in all you do. Helps you know you do. So tune in and now enjoy the fun. It's time for English, everyone. Studio Classroom is on the air. You can watch it everywhere. English is the way to go. So join us now, enjoy the show.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Studio Classroom. We're so glad you've joined us today. My name is Anne-Marie.
And my name is Gabe, and I hope that you are in a joyful mood. But if you're not, it's okay. We have a lesson that hopefully will cheer you up.
That's right. Our lesson today is called Dress for Joy. So here's a question to start us off with. How does dressing make you feel? Or does the way you dress affect the way you feel?
Yeah, actually, I would say that the way I dress affects, I usually dress the same if I'm going to work. Maybe I'll wear a button-down shirt and tuck it in. Whereas on the weekends, I might wear jeans and then like a t-shirt or something like that, a little more comfortable. It kind of puts me in different frames of mind. Do you know what I mean? The way that I dress.
I often find that even during the work week, I dress in different ways depending on my mood or depending on sometimes how much time I have. But if I feel more relaxed at work, sometimes I'll wear something more comfortable. Or if I feel like I have a lot to do that day and I really want to make sure I'm in the right mindset to get a lot done, I'll often dress up more.
And I've heard, especially in recent years, because a lot of people are working from home, a lot of people are working remotely, and so they're actually saying that even though they're working from home, a lot of people will still dress in work clothes because it helps them to get into the mindset of working. Otherwise, if you're just in your pajamas all the time at home, maybe you don't feel like working, but if you dress for the part, then you might get a little more work done.
That's an interesting thought. But what about dressing just to make you happy? That's what we're going to be talking about today, and it is a great day to learn something new.
So let's do that together.
Dress for joy. Dressing right ignites this feel-good hormone. Do you have a go-to outfit? Most anything you read will tell you that your clothes reflect your personality, and people use them to express themselves. The question is whether or not clothes influence the way you feel. According to Dr. Dawn Karen, a fashion psychologist and author of Dress Your Best Life, the answer is yes.
Hey everyone, welcome to Language Lab. I'm Jack. 我们先来看 outfit 这个名词，它是指整套服装。譬如 Josephine chose a casual outfit for the day, putting on jeans and a comfortable sweater. Josephine 今天选择穿一套休闲服装，她穿牛仔裤和舒适的毛衣。Outfit 也有团队的意思哦。例如 The whole advertising outfit from Jared's company came to our office to help us with our project. Jared 公司的整个广告团队到我们办公室帮助我们的专案。Outfit 也可以当作动词，意思是提供配备。譬如 The hikers outfitted themselves with rain gear and took plenty of food and water before they set out. 登山客们在出发前先准备好雨具，并携带充足的食物和水。再来看 psychologist 这个名词，意思是心理学家。譬如 Upon graduation, Natalie accepted a job offer as a clinical psychologist at a practice in downtown Los Angeles. Natalie 毕业后接受了洛杉矶市区一家诊所的临床心理学家工作。或者是 The psychologist emphasized the importance of caring for oneself to maintain mental health. 心理学家强调照顾自己以保持心理健康的重要性。再来看一句 During their meeting, the psychologist carefully listened to the patient's concerns and helped him understand his patterns of thinking. 在双方的会面中，心理学家仔细聆听了病人的担忧，并帮助他了解自己的思考模式。
Dressing right ignites this feel-good hormone. What hormone are we talking about? We're going to find out here in just a minute. But as we begin here, friends, let's talk about what it means to ignite something. Usually it means to set it on fire.
Exactly. So you're setting something on fire, you're igniting it. And that's the idea here, is that maybe this hormone or something, a chemical, is not doing anything right now. It's just resting. There's no activity. But if you're going to ignite it, that means you're going to cause it to become active. That's kind of the idea with our lesson, and specifically with this hormone that we will be discussing later.
Here's a question to ask yourself as we get into our lesson. Do you have a go-to outfit? What is a go-to outfit? Well, there's a lot of different things that you could go to. It means it's the first thing that you grab, or the first thing that you think of, or the first thing that you want in a certain situation. For example, a lot of people have a go-to coffee order. It means that no matter what coffee shop they go to, they usually order the same thing because they like it.
I mean, I have a go-to breakfast order. I always like to try bacon dumpling, especially if I'm going to a new restaurant. I want to see how their bacon dumpling tastes. That's my go-to breakfast order. But you can be a go-to person as well. That means if somebody needs a certain kind of task done, most people, not just one person, but a lot of people will immediately think of this person. That is the go-to person for that task. But Anne-Marie, I was a little bit confused by this question because I mean, I have a lot of outfits. I have a lot of different shirts and pants and things in my closet. So why should I have one go-to outfit? Is this referring to like a special event?
I think that it's just talking about something that you like the most in your closet. Like anytime you want to dress up or go out or maybe even be comfortable, that is the thing that you grab. That is the favorite combination of clothes that you have in your wardrobe.
Interesting. I think I do have a go-to outfit then when it comes to being comfortable, a pair of jeans and this gray shirt that I have. Anyway, we continue here. Most anything you read will tell you that your clothes reflect your personality and people use them to express themselves. Well, I think almost any decision that we make reflects our personality in some way, and maybe the most obvious decision that we make every day, at least to other people, is what we've decided to wear.
That's right. Like it or not, people look at what we look like on the outside, if our hair's done or not, if we're wearing clothes that match or not. These are things that people notice about us, even if they don't know us personally. The question is whether or not clothes influence the way you feel. So we all know that other people look at what we're wearing, but the question is, do you feel differently based on what you put on? According to Dr. Dawn Karen, a fashion psychologist and author of Dress Your Best Life, the answer is yes. And we see that phrase, according to Dr. Dawn Karen. If something is said according to someone, it's just saying that that is something that they've said. The writer is not stating it as a fact because this was not the writer's idea. This is an idea that came specifically from Dr. Dawn Karen. All right, friends, so we're going to continue learning right now with this next reading.
Dress for joy. She coined the phrase dopamine dressing, which means that wearing certain colors or styles releases dopamine or happy hormones in our bodies. Dopamine dressing promotes dressing for oneself and encourages us to wear what makes us happy rather than conforming to trends. Matt Johnson, PhD, a neuroscientist, agrees. What we wear impacts our self-image and what we think of ourselves.
接下来看动词 conform， 意思呢是顺从或是遵从。如果是 conform to 或是 conform with， 则是符合或遵守的意思。来看几个例句。In order to fit in with the group, Pat felt she needed to conform to their expectations. 为了融入团体 ，Pat 觉得她需要符合他们的期待。或是 The plan's steward showed the city inspector did not conform to the correct standards. Steward 给市政府督察员看的方案不符合正确的标准。再看一句。The new safety guidelines require that all construction workers conform to strict rules to prevent accidents. 这个新的安全守则要求所有建筑工人都要严格遵守规定，以防止意外事故发生。
All right, well, let's learn about what Dr. Dawn Karen, who wrote this book, Dress Your Best Life, has to say about dressing for joy. We read here that she coined the phrase dopamine dressing. All right, so this is what we're talking about today, this idea of dopamine dressing. We're going to talk about dopamine here in a minute, but first let's talk about this idea of coining a phrase. If somebody coins a phrase, it means they invent a new saying or some kind of expression, and this is something that people haven't used before, so it's new or unique. So this person decides, oh, this is an interesting way to describe this or say this, and they basically make up a new word or phrase.
Exactly. Shakespeare has coined a lot of words in the English language. Dr. Seuss, he was known for writing a lot of rhymes for children, but a lot of those words he used didn't make any sense. They were not words that were in dictionaries, but now we have started to use some of them, like the word nerd. Someone who's known for just, spending a lot of time reading books and doing other nerdy things is a nerd. Well, Dr. Seuss coined that word. When I was in university, I really enjoyed my communications courses, and one idea that I was taught that has really stuck with me over the years is this phrase, the medium is the message. And that was a phrase that was coined by Marshall McLuhan. So this person came up with this phrase to convey the idea that it's not just the message you're being told, but also how it's being told, who is doing it, what kind of medium you are using.
All right, so we are finding out here that dopamine dressing is wearing certain colors or styles, and this releases dopamine, or the happy hormone, in our body. So a hormone is the body's chemical messengers. There are lots of different hormones in our bodies. It's a class of signaling molecules in the body, and it's sent between your organs so that you can regulate your behavior or you can regulate your physiology. So this dopamine is a happy hormone in your body. It basically makes you happy.
Yeah, who doesn't want dopamine? Everyone wants a nice dopamine boost, right? Well, there are other hormones that we have, of course. One that we've talked about before here is that hormone that kind of regulates your sleep cycle. That's called melatonin. Another is cortisol, which helps your body respond to stress or danger. Can you think of any other hormones, those words that you know in English? Friends, talk about that. So we're talking about dopamine here, the happy hormone, and dopamine dressing promotes dressing for oneself and encourages us to wear what makes us happy rather than conforming to trends.
So we just saw that word conforming in the language lab, and if you conform to someone, of course, or something, excuse me, if you conform to something, it means you become like it or you do what it says. There are some other words that we can use with trends as well. You could say that someone is following a trend. If they're following a trend, it means that they are doing what is trendy or what everyone else is doing. If you keep up with trends, it means that in general, you watch what is popular, and then whatever is popular and what everyone is doing, that's what you try to do as well.
Well, earlier we learned the opinion of a fashion psychologist after a lot of research. It's not just her own opinion. But now we're going to hear from a neuroscientist. Now, his name is Matt Johnson. And what is a neuroscientist? This is a scientist that studies the brain and the nerves and things like that. We use that word neuro in other fields of study as well, like neuropsychology, that is studying how our behavior and thinking is related to our brain and nerves. Or maybe someone is a neurosurgeon, someone who does surgery on the brain and different parts of the nervous system.
That's right. So Matt Johnson, PhD, who is a neuroscientist, he says here what we wear impacts our self-image and what we think of ourselves. So it turns out what we are wearing really does impact the way we feel. We'll continue talking more about this in just a moment, right after today's Info Cloud.
Hello and welcome to Info Cloud. Hey Rex, today we'll dive into a lively phrase, having a whale of a time.
That's an interesting phrase, Garrett. When people say they are having a whale of a time, they aren't talking about sea creatures, are they?
Definitely not. No sea creatures are involved. When someone says they're going to have a whale of a time, it means they're going to have a fantastic, joyful experience.
Like when I went to the amusement park last weekend and had a whale of a time on all the rides.
Exactly, Rex. The phrase originates from the 19th century. At the time, whale was used to describe something big and impressive. So having a whale of a time meant having a big, impressive, and incredibly enjoyable experience.
Got it. So next time someone invites me to a party, I can say, I'm going to have a whale of a time.
That's right. Having a whale of a time is all about creating memorable and joyful moments. I, for one, have had a whale of a time talking about this phrase.
大海里的鲸鱼有一种非常吸引人的魅力，让很多人相当着迷。只要看到鲸鱼，都会感到非常兴奋。今天分享的用语 a whale of a time， 字面上是这一段时间出现的一只鲸鱼，这是用来形容一段非常开心的时光，就好比鲸鱼出现那样的心情。We had a whale of a time at the amusement park. 我们在那个主题乐园度过了非常开心的时光。Whale 鲸鱼的体积非常的庞大 ，a whale of a time 也就是在比喻一段非常特别、令人难忘的经历。这就是今天的 Info Cloud， 我们下次云端见。
Dress for joy. How do we achieve a look that makes us feel happy? Look in your closet and jot down notes about how certain clothes make you feel. Which items do you wear often and which ones stay in the back of your closet? How does that shirt in the back of your closet versus that t-shirt on your chair make you feel? What makes you choose one over the other?
“最后来看动词 jot， 它是匆匆的记下来的意思。例如 ，During the meeting, Chris used her notebook to jot down the key points discussed by her coworkers. 在会议中 ，Chris 在笔记本上面草草记下同事们讨论的要点。或是 The scientist used a sticky note to jot a quick reminder about an important experiment that needed to be conducted. 这位科学家在便利贴上匆匆记下需要进行的一项重要实验。再看一句 ，Austin has the habit of jotting a few lines in his journal every evening about the day's events. Austin 习惯每天晚上在日记中草草写下几句当天发生的事情。
Thank you, Jack. Friends, make sure you jot down those notes from the vocabulary you learned today in your magazine. And we read here to finish out our lesson for the day. How do we achieve a look that makes us feel happy? Well, to achieve a look means that there is a certain style that you are going for and you are trying to accomplish it. So sometimes there's a certain look that you like. Maybe you see it in a magazine, or maybe you have an event to go to, so you are going for a formal look. Well, to achieve a formal look, if you're a man, you could put on a suit and a tie, and you could achieve the look in that way. So here's the question. How do we achieve a look that makes us feel happy? Look in your closet and jot down notes about how certain clothes make you feel.
And of course, just to review, jotting down something means to write something down in kind of a simple way, right? Nothing too long. So how do these clothes make you feel? Which items do you wear often, and which ones stay in the back of your closet? Well, that's a good question for me to ask. There are quite a few clothes in my closet that I don't wear, maybe except for once a year or even less frequently than that.
Here's something that I thought about closets. When you say front and back of your closet, do you mean left to right, or do you mean closer to you and further behind in the closet?
When I think of the back of the closet, I think of towards the back, the part that you can't see behind all of the clothes, not right or left, but it could be referring to the furthest side, right or left, depending on which way your closet door opens, right?
Exactly. So this phrase can be used in both of those ways, friends, depending on what kind of closet you have and where you put the clothes that you don't wear very often. How does that shirt in the back of your closet versus that t-shirt on your chair make you feel? What makes you choose one over the other? We're going to be talking about this more tomorrow, so make sure you come back for that. But right now, we're going to go to today's fun fact.
Hello, fact friends! I am Detective Ernest Finder, and I have a fun fact for you today about shoes. Did you know that the tallest shoes ever were almost 4 meters high? They were from a shoe company in North Africa. Now, I don't think you could wear those shoes. They might have just been a giant statue-like shoe, and I don't know if you would feel confident wearing those shoes or just really scared. But that's today's fun fact.
Well, it's the end of our lesson, and you know what that means. It's time for a quiz. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right.
I am.
Okay, put your notes down.
Okay.
Here we go. According to a neuroscientist, what we wear impacts our self-what? Our self-expression, our self-image, our self-personality, or our self-closet?
Well, yeah, like, okay, you might buy some clothes that reflect your personality and put them in your closet, but I think the correct word is image, because we talk about that, and it does reflect our self-image.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I hope you got that correct as well, friends. We're not done talking about dressing for joy or dopamine dressing yet, friends, so make sure you come back for the second half of our lesson tomorrow. We'll see you then right here on Studio Classroom.
A friend endures at all times. A good friend lasts a lifetime. I am so proud to have you in my life. A good friend lasts a lifetime.